What's up everyone, I'm Ashley, this is Ashley Talks Movies, and today I'm going to be doing a review of Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, which is terrible. It's truly, really bad, awful movie. Probably one of the worst movies I've seen this year. One of the worst movies I've seen this year. Yeah, so Maleficent, Mistress of Evil is sequel to Maleficent. The sequel stars Angelina Jolie, Elle and Michelle Pfeiffer. Michelle Pfeiffer has joined the cast this time around in this film and doesn't make a difference because it is really bad. Okay, so what's bad about it? Well, strike one. The movie's called Maleficent, and surprisingly, Maleficent isn't in it that much. I mean, she's in it, obviously, but not as much as you would think for a movie that's named Maleficent. I mean, there's a good chunk of this movie where she's just noticeably absent because the story is focusing on other characters and other parts of the plot. Strike two. Lots of weird editing choices were made in this film. Really bad ones. Glaringly so, because there are times where there's certain edits in this movie where it just doesn't connect the scenes like it should. And so majority of the movie feels really choppy. And it sort of just took me out of the film because the edits were so bad. Yeah. Just weird editing choices, and I can't really explain or give examples because I don't want to, no spoilers in these reviews, but some really bad editing choices. Strike three. All of this, okay, the Maleficent-less parts of the movie, the bad editing choices, are even more obvious because of the terrible script. Boy, this script is really bad. I mean, the dialogue is terrible, the story is terrible, the characters are one-dimensional. So yeah, the script is just awful, which is just a shame because this movie has Angelina Jolie and Michelle Pfeiffer in it, and they're both great actresses. I like both of them. And they're completely wasted, complete waste of talent in this movie. Because you have, those two actresses in it, and one, they don't share a lot of screen time, at least together. So, you have these two actresses, they're great, and you don't really utilize them very well in this movie. That's such a shame. You also have other talented actors in this movie, like Chiwetel Ejiofor, who's completely wasted in the role that they give him. I mean, I'm not going to get into too much detail about his character, but just absolutely 100% wasted in this movie. And so it's such a shame. Michelle Pfeiffer does a pretty decent job with what she's given, but she's not given much because, again, the script is terrible and the characters are one-dimensional. And her character's so over the top, but she tries so hard. You can tell she's trying so hard to do something with this character. But it just doesn't work because, again, the script is terrible, the dialogue is terrible, it's all really bad. Strike four. You thought I was done, but I'm not. Strike four. This movie is very long and very boring. I mean, it has a runtime, I think, of like 2 hours. It might be slightly under 2 hours, but it feels every bit of 2 hours. This movie's so long, it drags, and again, it doesn't help because it's really boring, because the script is terrible, because the characters are one-dimensional, and the story is kind of all over the place. And so yeah, this movie is long and boring and awful. I can't say I'm surprised because, I saw the first Maleficent. I didn't really like it, but it was okay. I appreciated that. The one thing I did appreciate about Maleficent, the first one, was that, Disney, even though they're remaking all their animated films into live action films, I did appreciate, at least with this one, that they kind of deviated from the traditional Sleeping Beauty story, right? They focused instead on Maleficent and kind of gave it a little twist and changed up the story a little bit. So I at least appreciated that. It wasn't a great movie, but I appreciated the effort. Mistress of Evil, Maleficent 2, is worse than the first movie, and the first movie wasn't great. So, if you saw the first movie and you didn't like it, then you're really not going to like Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, because it's bad. Yeah, I did not like this film. What a mess.